Welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm Chris and this is Vanoffgrid. I've been getting a lot of comments about reviewing of my equipment that I use for camping. So this video is going to be basically a full gear review. I have a brand new Amazon storefront and it outlines all the gear that you see here basically, as well as all the appliances and hardware inside of the camper van. And so please check that out. I'm going to put the link in the description below. You know, I'm not encouraging anybody to go out and buy whatever I have. Go out and do your own thing, of course, but what I have works well for my application. A lot of this stuff is fairly inexpensive, so this may give you, you know, you may like something I use, you go ahead and buy it. If not, you know, you may find something similar that's a suitable replacement that fits your budget, your needs, your application. Okay, so first up, I got a couple of these for our bed. This is Venture Forth. It's a sleeping pad. Comes in a nice pouch here. So it's just got one tube right here that lets air in and out. It's a self-expanding foam inside of it, so you basically, once you open this up, you unscrew it and that's it. It is just gonna sort of inflate itself and it'll reach a level where it stops, so then I just go ahead and blow in here and then it gets it to the right firmness that I want. So this is a full you know, almost 6 foot long, and it's about 30 inches wide. It's perfect for just one person to lay on. So you'll see some of the videos I have shows this where we're making the bed and stuff, so please, you guys, go back in my channel and videos and check that out. So this is next, this is a weather station by LaCrosse. You know, it's more of a convenience than an item that I need. I always check the weather before we go out anyway, but it does its purpose pretty well. And it'll give me warnings, like it'll beep if there's like lightning coming in the area or something that I need to be alerted on. It'll actually tell me that. So, and it's got an alarm clock and some other things on it. It's pretty cool. So right here is my Japanese fire pit. It's a Takibi. It's basically just foldable, portable, backpackable, super light, convenient. They run about 30-40 bucks depending on the name brand you want. So this one was in that range. It's also in my Amazon storefront. You can check it out. You know, it's good. Here, being in Okinawa on an island, we don't really want to ever put a fire in the ground. It just damages the environment, and the coals that stay in the soil, they just won't dissipate out. So anyway, this is the alternative here. Super light, super awesome, and it honestly makes just a perfect little fire that we like. It's just the right size. Next up, I got, it's a P50 called the Nova. This is a super awesome flashlight, very durable. I think it's 2,250 lumens. It's super bright. You could extend the angle of the beam, make it a wide shot or zoomed in like a real tight shot. It's got a USB charger on it. You can charge like a cell phone or something a little bit, you know, just enough to make a call in an emergency. It's a micro USB to charge it. It has its own solar, little solar panel right here that can also charge the battery enough to give you some use. And this solar is enough to where even if the battery was dead, it'll actually charge a small device like a phone or some small USB device. It's got a clip for the belt back here. This is a glass breaker. If you're in an emergency or your vehicle, you're upside down, you crash and you can't open the door, this can break the window right here. It has a razor blade cutter for cutting wire and things right here under there, so you can slice through stuff. And the cool part is that inside of here, it has a plasma igniter where you can actually start a fire here. Let's see, where is the button? There's a button right here. You guys are never going to see that, but anyway, you can hear it. So it just shoots like an electrical, you know, it's a plasma flame effect that comes between these 2 points of contact. So you can start a fire with it in an emergency as well. And it's got an SOS blinking light on it for, you know, if you had an emergency, you could shine it at someone and it'll blink as well. So These lights were pretty expensive. They've come down over the years in price, but this was about a $120 flashlight. Anyway, it's they run around 60 bucks now, I think. So moving on, this is my little, this is a windbreaker. This just goes for when I'm cooking something small like this. This just blocks the wind just like that. So, and it's got these little stakes that you can put it on the ground and the stakes just go into the dirt right there and it holds itself up. Super portable, super convenient, and it's perfect for, again, a lot of our gear is backpackable, where my wife and I will go somewhere and park, and then we'll backpack out into the woods and mountains, and then we'll cook and set up, you know, and have coffee and do other stuff out there. So that's why I went with microlight stuff. It's just easy to move around, plus it saves weight in the van, you know, when we're traveling on gas mileage and all that. We went with wood. It's just traditional, it's nice, it's organic, it's handmade, and we just like the natural effect that it brings into the ambiance of the van, where everything I have is like a log cabin effect in there. It's all handmade wooden stuff. This is called a mess 10. This is like a mess, like military term, mess. This is a Japanese version, but these were originated in maybe World War I, but if not, for sure World War II. These were popular where you could drink out of it, you could cook out of it. It's super lightweight, super durable, and a lot of soldiers had this. This is what they used to eat out of. So right here, this is called a takibi nabe. Nabe is basically like a soup in Japan. So this is made by Uniflame. It's just a little pot. It's really nice. It's lightweight. This is you know, shosugiban. This is like a Japanese cedar that's been burned, and it has a nice aroma. And when you're cooking, it adds in this sort of a cedar aroma into the food. So it gives a nice flavor. Just a cool little pot. You know, it's super light. It's backpackable, but it's real thick. It's made for an actual fire. So next, moving on, this is an actual takibi fire pit as well. This is a tabletop fire pit. I mean, that's it. It is a baby little grill. You just put a small wood fire in there, or maybe like, you know, 8 charcoals in there, and that's it. It's just gonna give you a nice little flame effect. You're cooking right on top of the fire, so it, you know, it's enough to cook small things. So this is also completely foldable and backpackable. Parachute cord. That is an absolute necessity in my opinion. When you're going out in the woods, you can do so much stuff with it. Tie things together, make things. You know, you can get a rip in a tarp, and you can use it to sew up something big like a gash in a tarp. Hang things on it, dry clothes out. There's just so many uses for it. Next, I got a COB. I like the COB LED light strips. They're super bright. They only use a little bit of power. The batteries last a long time. This is my headlight. I like it. It's got a couple settings, you know, high and low. Magnesium fire starter here. I like to go old school, shave it off, shave the magnesium off into the kindling, and then go ahead and strike it, and you know, it'll just ignite pretty quickly. So a knife. This is I use this more for splitting wood than anything else. So anyway, so you know, this is not expensive, but it's like a 440 stainless blade. It's super durable. It doesn't hold the sharpness very well, but I don't use it for that, for like cooking. It's got storage, a compass, you know, some emergency backup stuff. If I ever needed a compass, I just have one, you know, as part of the equipment. You just never know when you'll need something like that. But anyway, you know, again, that's just for mainly splitting wood, so it's indestructible. This is my coffee roaster. This is a porcelain coffee roaster. So just put green organic coffee beans in there and go ahead, throw it on a fire or just a stove, anything. It takes about 8 minutes. They'll start to crackle and smoke a little bit. You got to keep shaking them up. And I like to go about 12 minutes, and it makes just perfect fire cooked coffee. And it steams it by the design of this. So This is made in Korea, a company called Nuvo. These are also on Amazon. They run about 40 bucks. So moving on, so these are suction cup. This is what I use for my awning. If I can get it off. What's sticky? So this is really sticky, the rubber part here. It's got an adhesive on it, and it sticks really well to the van, and then it's got an air elimination lock right here. You can push this button and then lock it. And I don't know for sure, but if I had to guess, it's about a 25-pound pull to really pull this off the vehicle. So, you know, in wind and rain, my tarp doesn't just fly off and break off of the van. But I got like 6 or 8 of these that goes all the way across the van. So with these, I can't put an actual RV awning on the van. The reason for that is the solar panels they pretty much take up the whole roof up there, and there are luggage rack mounting bolts. There's some above me that are exposed, but all the ones in the back are covered by the solar, and that's where the actual the awning, canopy awning, would be bolted to. So that's inaccessible because of the solar, so that's why I went with this. But you know, those awnings here in Japan, they run about 2,000 bucks. They're really expensive. This was you know, $7 each, so for about 30 bucks and a $10 awning, I was able to just, you know, create my own canopy. You know, it is a little bit of work to set it up and all, but it actually works very well and it serves its purpose. You know, it just needs to hold, and these things are strong enough to hold it. So with that, it saves me weight, saved me a ton of money, and it works just as good. So couldn't be happier with this right here. Okay, this is a very inexpensive little lantern. This is only for ambiance effect. It's just super light. I just like the flame effect, you know, when we're sitting here on the table. It just adds that nice little touch of ambiance. So, you know, and at night, honestly, you know, if I turn the dial up, it actually throws out pretty good light. It illuminates the whole table where we're sitting down eating and just hanging out. So, you know, and it gives a nice flame flicker effect. So I really like it. This is extremely inexpensive, but you know, there's a lot of really high dollar lanterns out there. These are just lanterns. That turns it off, that turns it on. It's got COB LED strips, super bright, magnets on the bottom. It holds 3 AA batteries. The magnets are really strong, and you know, I have a clip here where I can use parachute cord, throw it over a tree branch, and then I can just hang it so it can give me some above ground illumination. So next, this is my jet boiler. It's by Japan's famous company called Soto. Soto is, they make just outstanding camping equipment. It just uses a gas can on it. This folds, all the arms here fold off. Super lightweight. Again, it's a backpackable micro light burner. It's what we wanted, so we can hike up to the top of a mountain, and you know, I can go ahead and brew up some hot coffee in the middle of nowhere with this, and we've actually done that. So couldn't be more pleased with this. It's outstanding product. So next, this table is by a company called iClimb. This is also in my Amazon storefront. You can find it. It takes apart 2 pieces, folds down. It doesn't even weigh 1/3 of a pound. It's super lightweight, easily backpackable. Comes with a nice little bag, storage bag. So anyway, and again, if I'm using the fire pit, my little Takibi fire pit on the table, I put it on this table since it's metal, so I don't damage, you know, the main Coleman camping table. Self-explanatory. Fire extinguisher. You know, you guys know, safety first always, especially when you're out in the woods and, you know, you're in a forest where things are very dry and they could catch on fire. It's always good to be thinking safety first. This is my folding saw. You know, this thing right here has cut so much wood. It's just amazing. Super sharp still. These are also on Amazon. This is in the storefront as well. But good to have. You just never know. You could be going down the road and a tree just fall right in front of you, and then you're stranded somewhere. So without a saw, you know, how are you going to get yourself out? or you go into a camp spot and then a tree falls across the road and you can't come out, you know, it's kind of I try to think about that, not just for the way that I'm going to use these items during a normal camping trip. I try to think about how could I use this in an emergency situation, and so that's why I have that as well. Okay, next up I want to show you guys, these are my garage lights. They're magnetic. In the garage I have 3 of them. They have an on-off automatic sensor, or you can do full on if you want. They last about 6 hours straight on. Rechargeable with a micro USB, super awesome. They also just stick to the van. So at night I move them from the garage in the back of the van out just on the side of the van on the metal, and that just illuminates for us under the canopy. So it's versatile. My wife uses them, you know, if we're going to walk to the bathroom or something at night. They illuminate the ground really well if you shine it down. So very inexpensive, pretty awesome. You know, they make these in all different sizes. Some are huge. They're like 3 feet long. But this was a 32 light, 32 LEDs inside, and it's just the right size and the right weight that I was looking for. On my Amazon storefront, it's Vanoffgrid.store. All these things, the hardware appliances like toilet, shower head, the stove oven combo, the fridge. Let's see, the Appaso fixture here, the hand-hammered copper sink. So if you just scroll further down in the description, individually you'll find things, everything that I'm talking about here. So that way you don't have to go through my Amazon storefront to find something that you might want to read about or see the price of it. The item will be itemized down below. A little bit too chilly to get into it, especially on a windy day. You know, when you stand up, you get kind of cold. Yeah, I'll go ahead and grab the camera. We'll take us a little stroll here for a second.